Hey guys, Ryan here, and man, it's just been big news announcement after big news announcement. Haven't made a video in a few days. Finally got some time to sit down and talk. Where do we even begin? I guess the fourth driver for Hendrick Motorsports has been announced. We now know where Erik Jones will go. Uh, Surprise, surprise, I was wrong in my video. I know. And then you also have the driver of the 14 being announced virtually all at the same time. Kyle Larson's reinstated to NASCAR. Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. So, I guess let's start with the Erik Jones news. Erik Jones going to the 43. I am kind of surprised about that one myself because I didn't see the sponsors necessarily that would be able to make that work. Now, of course, surprises can happen. This isn't the first time we've seen a driver go to a ride we didn't necessarily expect. I mean, key thing, look at Bubba Wallace. He's going to a team that didn't even exist, and all of a sudden Michael Jordan's in on it. But yeah, so Erik Jones is a 43. I would expect, at best, similar results to what Bubba Wallace has gotten this year. I think that car has hit its performance peak. I think they have hit their cap. I don't think they can get any further up the grid without either a alliance change of some kind. Now, if we hear Toyota gets introduced as part of this, which I'm not entirely confident on, then I would say it's definitely something that's a lot more interesting than it otherwise would be. But as of right now, with the information we have, I have zero reason to believe that there's going to be any sort of change. I think it will still be under the RCR umbrella, which means I think that on their best days, I think top 5, borderline top 5, top 10 will be about as good as they can get on a very good run with a great driver like Erik Jones or Bubba Wallace. So yeah, that was probably I'd say that's the only one I didn't expect. These other two announcements I pretty much expected, barring a single car number, which I wasn't entirely certain on. So let's get to it. We had the driver of the 14 was announced. So after all this time, we finally know who will be driving the Stewart-Haas Racing number 14 after Clint Bowyer shockingly about a week ago, or a week and a half ago, announced that that he would be retiring and stepping away and going to the Fox broadcast booth. We now know his replacement will be Chase Briscoe, who just picked up his 9th Xfinity win of the season. If that is a surprise to anybody that Briscoe got that ride, especially considering the driver we're about to talk about in this next part, I mean, I just don't know what to say. I mean, Briscoe to the 14, I think he will almost certainly be Rookie of the Year because I don't really see who he's going to be competing against, especially with Haley re-signing in Xfinity. You've got Cindric, who will be staying in Xfinity. I just don't see who's going to compete against him for Rookie of the Year to really try and make it a battle for the Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, I'd say Briscoe for Rookie of the Year, driving that number 14 car. I think that's a solid move. I would personally have liked to have seen them try and just make something else work so that, because I think the Xfinity time will be way more valuable preparing for the next gen car than than 1 year in the Cup Series. Though I think getting him some laps against the higher competition level, maybe on some kind of part-time basis, would have been nice to see. As a way to try and kind of get him in to the swing of things at that team. So yeah, you have that news, and then kind of the big elephant in the room. Everybody knew it was coming. Kyle Larson has been reinstated to NASCAR effective beginning of next year, so he can't come back. So Larson is still currently suspended from NASCAR, essentially meaning he can't come and race for like Rick Ware or Spire, who have rotational cars that don't have like a full-time driver signed. He couldn't come in and get some laps in those cars to try and get himself familiarized. But he will be back. You would assume for, I believe, the Daytona. I think the Daytona 500 would be his first race back, because I don't think he's eligible for the Clash next year, because he didn't win a race this year. He's not a past Daytona 500 winner or a past Daytona 500 pole sitter, and he didn't win a pole at the very beginning of this year, to my knowledge. So I don't think he'd be in the Clash entry list, though it would be neat to see. But we also know what car he'll be driving when that time comes. He will be driving the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. So Hendrick Motorsports, they are ditching the 88 and they are bringing back the 5. So the 5 doesn't have necessarily the best track record for the last 2 decades, but I think Larson at HMS, I mean, even before this pandemic happened and even before the suspension from NASCAR, I think this was a likely landing spot. Now, I think his use of the N-word is why he is not in the number 48. I think that cost him that. But the fact that he is still in a Hendrick Motorsports number 5, or in a Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet at all, I think is a testament to his driving skill. And I think the fact that he has actually gone through these steps to learn and has ultimately been reinstated by NASCAR, whether you think that's a right decision or a wrong decision, or whether you think it's too soon, NASCAR has looked at what he's done and deemed that he can return. So you will see Kyle Larson in the Cup Series driving for Hendrick Motorsports on a team with William Byron, Alex Bowman, and Chase Elliott next season. So I'm excited to see how that team does. My expectations for that team, I would say they would be about where Jimmy would have been this year had he not had the Charlotte DNQ or DQ and the Indy COVID stuff happening. If he hadn't had those two things, which means I think he'd be about somewhere in the 12th to 14th range in points. I think he'll be in the playoffs, possibly. I mean, again, it just starts to fill up that grid even more, that I think you're going to see potentially maybe 2 Gibbs cars missing the playoffs, or maybe 2 or 3 Hendrick cars missing the playoffs. I mean, maybe the Bubba Wallace team isn't able to get up to speed quick enough in time to get into the playoffs. So that'll be a big discussion to have once we kind of know where everybody is landing, because there's still plenty of questions. Where is Ty Dillon going? What other rides are available? Is Ryan Preece resigned? I've heard mixed reports that he is resigned, that he's working on a re-signing deal there over at JTG, but I've also heard a lot of people talking about that he might not be safe, especially after 2019 and 2020 being not great years for him in this series. So yeah, I think that's going to open up a lot of questions. Who drives the 98 in Xfinity? I think that will probably be one of the Cup drivers this year that just doesn't find a landing spot. Or it'll be a rotational car for Briscoe, Harvick, potentially Harvick at least. Some of the other Stewart Haas guys, maybe even Tony Stewart himself comes back for the Indy road course race in Xfinity, like he was originally planning on doing this year. So I think that would probably be my most likely thing I would expect. But yeah, so man, we covered a lot in this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, comment down below any thoughts on any of the many topics, Larson to HMS, Jones to the 43, or Briscoe to the 14, or anything else you guys want to see me talk about on this channel here in coming days, because I'm going to keep trying with this whole YouTube thing. I'm really enjoying making the videos when I actually get the time to, so hopefully you guys are enjoying watching them, and if you guys are, I'll see you guys in the next video, live stream, or whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your day. Have a great day, everybody. Good.